This is absolutely mind-blowing, and if you're not in complete shock right now, then you clearly missed CM Punk making his most explosive statement since returning to WWE by joining forces with Jey Uso to deliver a vicious beatdown on Roman Reigns that proves Punk is here to destroy everything the Bloodline represents. If you think this was just Punk getting involved in someone else's business, you're completely wrong, because what I'm about to expose reveals that CM Punk has been planning this attack for weeks, that his alliance with Jey Uso represents the formation of the most dangerous anti-Bloodline coalition in WWE history, and that Roman Reigns just became the target of two men who have nothing to lose and everything to gain by ending the Tribal Chief's career once and for all. Comment right now if you think CM Punk and Jey Uso forming an alliance is the best thing that could happen to WWE, because the combination of Punk's rebellious spirit and Jey's insider knowledge of the Bloodline's weaknesses creates a partnership that could finally bring down Roman's empire in the most satisfying way possible. This isn't just another attack, this is the beginning of a revolution that will tear down the old guard and prove that family loyalty means nothing when you've been used, abused, and disrespected for years. The best in the world just declared war on the so-called tribal chief. Let me break down exactly what happened on Raw, because every single moment of this attack was perfectly executed and revealed a level of coordination between Punk and Jey that proves they've been planning this for much longer than anyone realized. Roman was in the ring cutting a promo about reclaiming his position at the top of WWE, trying to project strength despite everything he's lost recently: his championship, Paul Heyman's loyalty, the Bloodline's unity, and his aura of invincibility. Roman was in the middle of demanding respect and acknowledgement from the WWE Universe when suddenly CM Punk's music hit. The crowd erupted because Punk's appearances are still treated as special, as moments that could change everything. Punk walked out onto the stage with that familiar smirk, that confidence that says he knows he's about to ruin someone's day, and Roman's expression went from confident to concerned in seconds. But Punk wasn't alone. Walking beside him was Jey Uso, and the sight of one of Roman's own family members standing with CM Punk sent shockwaves through the arena. Jey's presence wasn't just symbolic, it represented the ultimate betrayal of Roman's vision of family and loyalty. Jey was supposed to be Roman's most loyal soldier, and now he was standing with Roman's enemy, united by their shared resentment of how Roman had treated them. Here's a trivia question for CM Punk fans: in what year did CM Punk return to WWE after his long absence? Drop your answer below. Punk grabbed a microphone and delivered what might become the defining promo of this storyline: Roman, the so-called tribal chief. The man who demands everyone acknowledge him. Well, I'm here to tell you something, Joe. I don't acknowledge anything about you except your failure. You failed to keep your family together. You failed to keep your championship. You failed to maintain the respect you demanded. And now, you're about to fail at the one thing you still thought you could do: survive. The threat in Punk's words was unmistakable, but what made it truly chilling was Jey standing beside him, nodding in agreement with every word. Jey then grabbed the microphone. You've been saying for years that family is everything, that the Bloodline is forever, that we all need to sacrifice for the good of the family. But you know what? All we ever sacrificed for was you. Your championships, your glory, your legacy. Well, I'm done sacrificing. I'm done being your soldier. And with Punk beside me, I'm finally gonna show you what happens when family turns on the tyrant who's been using them. Drop a comment: is Jey Uso justified in turning against Roman after years of being used, or is this the ultimate betrayal of family? Let me know your take. Roman tried to respond, tried to talk his way out of the situation like he's done so many times before, but Punk and Jey weren't interested in talking. They started walking to the ring with purpose, and Roman realized he was about to be in serious trouble. Roman looked around for backup, the Bloodline members who should have been there to protect him, but nobody came. Roman was alone, facing two men who had every reason to want him destroyed. The attack began the moment Punk and Jey entered the ring. No warning, no hesitation, just immediate violence. Jey hit Roman with a super kick that dropped him instantly, and then Punk was on him with strikes that were stiff and real. These weren't worked punches for the cameras. Punk was throwing shoot strikes, legitimately trying to hurt Roman, and you could hear the impact of each shot echoing through the arena. What made this attack particularly brutal was the coordination between Punk and Jey. They moved like they'd been training together for weeks, anticipating each other's moves, setting up combinations that maximized damage. When Roman tried to fight back against Punk, Jey was there to cut him off. When Roman tried to escape, Punk blocked his path. They had Roman completely trapped with no way out. Jey positioned Roman for what came next, holding him in place while Punk backed into the corner. The crowd knew what was coming: Punk's running knee strike, the move that has ended so many careers. Punk charged forward and connected with devastating force, and Roman crumpled like he'd been shot. The impact was so severe that medical personnel immediately started moving toward the ring, but Punk and Jey weren't finished. Quick question: what is CM Punk's signature knee strike finishing move called? Show me you know your Punk moveset. Punk pulled Roman up and delivered the GTS, the go to sleep, with vicious intent. Roman's head snapped back from the knee strike, and he was clearly out cold. But even that wasn't enough for Jey, who had years of resentment built up. Jey climbed to the top rope and hit a massive USO splash, driving all his weight onto Roman's already devastated body. The three-move combination left Roman motionless in the center of the ring. But here's where things got even more personal and more cruel. Punk grabbed a microphone and stood over Roman's unconscious body. "This is what happens when you build an empire on lies, Roman. When you demand loyalty but give none in return. When you treat family like property instead of people. Jey and I? We're just the beginning. There are more people in that locker room who are sick of you, sick of the bloodline, sick of everything you represent. And we're coming for all of it." The declaration that Punk and Jey were just the start of a larger movement against Roman sent chills through everyone watching. How many other wrestlers were secretly aligned with Punk? How many other bloodline members were considering betrayal? The uncertainty created paranoia that will haunt Roman for weeks or months to come. Jey then did something that was symbolically devastating. He removed the lei that represents bloodline membership and threw it on Roman's unconscious body like it was garbage. The rejection of the bloodline symbolism, the public declaration that Jey was done with everything Roman built, was a moment that will be replayed for years as the definitive end of Jey's loyalty to Roman. Tell me in the comments, is CM Punk the perfect person to lead the rebellion against Roman Reigns and the bloodline? Or should someone else be the face of this movement? The aftermath was chaotic. Medical personnel rushed to check on Roman while Punk and Jey stood on the stage, arms raised in victory, looking down at the destruction they'd caused. The message was clear: Roman's era of dominance was over, and a new power structure led by CM Punk and Jey Uso was taking its place. The backstage reaction was reportedly mixed in fascinating ways. Some wrestlers were celebrating Punk and Jey's attack, viewing it as karma finally catching up to Roman for years of holding people down. Others were concerned that this level of violence and betrayal sets a dangerous precedent where nobody can trust anyone. The locker room is more divided than it's been in years. The bloodline's remaining members are in crisis. Solo Sikoa has to decide whether to defend Roman despite their complicated relationship. Jimmy Uso has to choose between his twin brother Jey and his cousin Roman. Other family members are being forced to pick sides in what's becoming a civil war that's tearing the Anoa'i family apart both on screen and potentially behind the scenes. Paul Heyman's silence on this matter is telling. Paul has already abandoned Roman, and now Roman is being attacked by Paul's new client CM Punk, in some storyline interpretations. If Paul is behind this attack, if he encouraged Punk to go after Roman, that's another layer of manipulation and betrayal that Roman has to process. The psychological warfare is as devastating as the physical assault. What's your prediction? Will more bloodline members join CM Punk and Jey Uso in their rebellion against Roman, or will some remain loyal to the tribal chief? Give me your forecast. The historical significance of CM Punk attacking Roman Reigns cannot be overstated. These are two of the biggest stars in professional wrestling, representing different eras and different philosophies. Punk represents the anti-establishment rebel who earned everything through talent and determination. Roman represents the corporate-chosen successor who was given opportunities based on family legacy. Their collision was inevitable and represents a philosophical war about what WWE should value. The formation of this Punk-Jey alliance creates storytelling possibilities that are endless. Who else joins their cause? Do they recruit other disgruntled wrestlers to form a full faction? Do they systematically target every remaining bloodline member? Do they go after championships to prove their superiority? Every direction creates compelling television and meaningful character development. The psychology behind Jey's decision to align with Punk is fascinating. Jey spent years being Roman's right hand, doing his dirty work, sacrificing his own ambitions for Roman's glory. Jey was used and taken for granted, and now he's found someone in Punk who respects him as an equal partner rather than treating him as disposable muscle. That validation from Punk is probably more valuable to Jey than any championship or victory. The potential matches coming from this are incredible. Roman vs. Punk in a singles match that's been years in the making. Roman vs. Jey where family bonds are tested through violence. A tag match with Roman finding a partner to face Punk and Jey. Multi-man matches where allegiances shift and chaos reigns. Every option is compelling and loaded with emotional weight. Here's a strategic question: if you were Roman Reigns, who would you recruit as your ally to counter CM Punk and Jey Uso? Who could you trust after all these betrayals? The championship implications are interesting. Neither Punk nor Jey currently holds a championship, but their attack on Roman positions them as legitimate main event threats. WWE has to decide whether to give them immediate title opportunities or make them work their way up to establish their credibility as a team. The booking choices will define how seriously this alliance is taken. The crowd reaction to Punk and Jey's alliance has been overwhelmingly positive, which creates an interesting dynamic. Punk and Jey are committing heel actions, ambushing someone, attacking with numbers advantage, targeting a man when he's down, but the fans are cheering because Roman is so unpopular. This moral ambiguity is perfect modern wrestling storytelling where nothing is black and white. The social media reaction has been explosive. Wrestling Twitter has been dominated by discussion of this attack. The hashtag #PunkandJey has been trending worldwide. Fan art depicting them as partners has flooded every platform. Video packages highlighting their attack have gotten millions of views. WWE is getting organic, genuine engagement that money can't buy. The merchandise opportunities are massive. CM Punk and Jey Uso partnership shirts. Best in the World meets UCE catchphrase apparel. Commemorative items celebrating their alliance. WWE's merchandising team should be working overtime to create products that capitalize on the momentum and heat this storyline is generating. What's your honest take? Is the CM Punk and Jey Uso partnership more compelling than the Bloodline at its peak? Or does the Bloodline's legacy make them impossible to top? The comparison to other rebellious alliances in wrestling history is inevitable. Is this WWE's version of the NWO attacking WCW's establishment? Is it comparable to Stone Cold's rebellion against the Authority? Does it rank among the greatest us against the system storylines? The potential is there if WWE commits to building this properly over time rather than rushing through it. The legal and kayfabe implications are interesting. In storyline, should Roman press assault charges against Punk and Jey? Should WWE fine or suspend them? Or does WWE embrace the chaos because it generates interest in ratings? How WWE's authority figures respond will define whether this is treated as serious or just another wrestling angle. The potential for this to expand into a faction war is real. If more wrestlers join Punk and Jey, and if Roman recruits his own allies, we could see a brand-wide conflict that involves dozens of wrestlers and defines WWE's creative direction for the next year. That kind of sweeping, ambitious storytelling is rare in modern WWE but incredibly effective when done right. One final question: when Roman Reigns gets his revenge on CM Punk and Jey Uso, should it be through violence matching what they did to him, or should Roman try to be the bigger person? What's more satisfying? The legacy implications for everyone involved are staggering. For Roman, this is rock bottom, betrayed by family, attacked by enemies, stripped of everything that made him powerful. His redemption arc from here could be legendary if WWE books it properly. For Jey, this is liberation from Roman's shadow and the chance to finally be his own man. For Punk, this is proof that he still matters and can create moments that define eras. Now I want to hear from you, the Wrestling Newsletter family. Tell me in the comments. Are you excited about CM Punk and Jey Uso as partners? Did Roman deserve this attack after years of tyranny? Will this alliance last or eventually implode? Who else should join Punk and Jey's rebellion? Can Roman recover from this latest humiliation? Is this the most satisfying wrestling moment of 2025? Smash that like button if CM Punk and Jey Uso attacking Roman made you cheer. Destroy that like button if you're hyped for this new alliance and what it means for WWE. We need maximum engagement. Subscribe to Wrestling Newsletter because we're covering every development in this rebellion and Roman's quest for revenge. Share this video with every wrestling fan because CM Punk and Jey Uso attacking Roman Reigns on Raw is the most shocking alliance and the most satisfying beatdown of the year. The best in the world has found his UCE. Roman Reigns is devastated. The bloodline is crumbling. A new power is rising. And WWE will never be the same. This is the kind of explosive, emotionally satisfying storytelling that reminds us why wrestling is incredible when wrestlers with real chemistry come together to create magic. The revolution has begun.